Hey guys, welcome to Nerds and Nuance. I'm Ian, and we're back with more of The Last of Us. And yes, I know, episode 2 probably came out just as this one came out. I'm trying, okay? They're long, and I'm trying to find the time to edit. I'm sorry, but I'm not the only one. So anyway, last episode we lost Tess. So that was very. I mean, we saw it. Those that played the end, we knew that was going to happen. It still sucks though. It always sucks whenever we end up having to lose Tess. And just found out today, the actress who played Tess in the game passed away. So that sucks. So we lost Tess. Met the Clickers for the first time. They did a really good job making them absolutely terrifying. Hated that. We got some interesting information, some new lore that the cordyceps, when you touch them, it alerts the infected nearby. Well, the closest, probably all of them, but those nearby come always. Anyway, it's not good. That is very terrifying. You got to really watch your step a lot of times. So that's not great. Kind of feel like that makes it, well, not worse than the spores, but a little more terrifying because it's not as, you're not infected and I'm just like, oh no, I'm infected. It's like they're going to attack you and kill you, and then you'll be infected. Anyway, it's scary. And yeah, so now we're heading off to, what is it? We're looking for something. I know where we're going. We're going to end up meeting Bill. I'm pretty sure his name was Bill or Frank. I think it was Frank. I can't remember. But yeah, so we're going to see them in a bit. And we saw the flashback, kind of like at least the earlier stages of discovering the infection, the cordyceps, and that was terrifying and also very disheartening and heartbreaking. So glad we got that.
Look, I've been thinking about...
I want your sorries.
I wasn't going to say I'm sorry. I was going to say that I've been thinking about what happened. Nobody made you or Tess take me. Nobody made you go along with this plan. You needed a truck battery or whatever, and you made a choice. So don't blame me for something that isn't my fault.
Damn. Don't you think
seeing as it's just the two of us, I was thinking I should
We had supplies en route. We find ourselves short on gear, which I currently am, because...
No way. You ever play this one? I had a friend who knew everything about this game. There's this one character named Melina who takes off her mask and she has monster teeth and then she swallows you whole and barfs out your bones. Is there anything bad in here?
Just you.
Getting funnier.
Just keep saying that every time she asks. Ooh, a hatch. Maybe you should be careful though. I mean, someone could have gotten, infected and then went down there, didn't know it, and then they died. Look, if there's something, I would not go in a place where I couldn't, immediately get out. But that's just me. See what you did? Look what you did! I told you somebody was down there! What are you doing?
About a week after Outbreak Day, soldiers went through the countryside, evacuated the small towns. Told you were going to a QZ, and you were. If there was room.
Jesus.
If there wasn't.
Jeez. Flashback? Oh man. Oh, I don't want to see. Oh, it's a baby. Oh, I don't want to see. That's a really cool setup. I gotta admit, Jesus Christ. Jeez, that's so eerie. Good grief. It's so still. Hey, buddy. Yeah, pretty pickings when everybody's been evacuated.
First, my name's Frank.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Frank.
Gotcha, okay.
If I feed you, then every bum you talk to about it is going to show up here looking for a free lunch. And this is not an Arby's.
Well, Arby's didn't have free lunch. It was a restaurant. I won't. What the fuck?
Everything tastes good when you're starving.
Yeah, but not like this. A man who knows to pair rabbit with a Beaujolais.
I know I don't seem like the type.
No, you do. Take things in stride. Sounds like good advice, but this
I mean, it's been 4 years, so.
at my side, and
No, sir. No, thank you. Sorry. Not this song. Not this song.
Well, I'm not a professional.
Well, neither am I, but...
Cause I've done everything I know to try and make you mine. And I think I'm gonna love you for a long, long time.
A bit fast, but I mean, it's been 4 years. Aww. Getting emotional. Yeah, imagine how long it's been since, at least him, since Frank.
Bill.
Go take a shower, Bill.
Hey, I've been alone for 4 years, alright?
I'm gonna start with the simple things.
Okay.
But before I do, I want you to know that I'm not a whore. I don't have sex for lunches. So if I do this, I'm gonna stay for a few more days. Is it okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, that line got me.
Oh, fuck you! Come on! Hey, would you stop?
Do I ask for things?
Ever?
Why am I even saying that? This isn't for me. This is for us.
Who cares what they look like?
I do. We're gonna make friends, and we will invite them to visit.
That's gonna be hard to do in this time, buddy.
We don't have friends, Frank. We will never have friends because there are no friends to be had.
I've actually been talking to a nice woman on the radio.
You what?
Uh-oh. And
Can you
then,
not, please?
I was gonna say, is it Tess and Joel?
Same way.
Oh, you're a paranoid schizophrenic too?
I'm not schizophrenic.
There's stuff we have in the QZ that you don't have here. Books, medicine, machine parts. We can help each other and get that gun out of my face.
Phew. Well, that's definitely fortified.
Pick it up.
I can't.
Just one more loop around. I got something to show you. Not that. Ready?
Yes. Oh.
I traded Joel and Tess one of your guns for a packet of seeds.
Which gun?
A little one.
Okay. Didn't blow up. Which one? Cheers. Wow.
I was never afraid before you showed up.
Damn it. No, the strawberries.
Right.
Oh no. Guys, wake up. Where's Bill? Bill, what are you doing? You're out of...
I have copies of all the keys.
Good.
Yeah. Call Joel.
Uh-huh.
You can't be here alone.
I'm not alone. You're here.
No.
It's getting cold.
Okay. Let me bring you inside.
Oh my god.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. I don't even like Bill and Frank so much. God dang it. Stupid show. Gonna give me more broken hearts for this nonsense.
Bill. Bill. Oh. Come here. I've had bad days with you, too. But I've had more good days with you than with anyone else. Just give me one more good day. Starting now, make me some toast.
I can't.
Do you love me?
Yes.
Then love me the way I want you to.
This sucks. You didn't have this in the game. Oh, the pit he found him in, Jesus. Whew. Sucks. dinner scene, great. Over the stupid pills. Pills here. Really bad with love stories and old people. It kills me.
Why are there already pills in the bottle?
Enough to kill a horse. This isn't the tragic suicide at the end of the play. I'm old. I'm satisfied. And you were my purpose.
It's from Bill. To whomever, but probably Joel. I figured I fell under whomever. If you find this, please do not come into the bedroom. We left the window open so the house wouldn't smell, but it would probably be a sight. I'm guessing you found this, Joel, because anyone else would have been electrocuted or blown up by one of my traps. I used to hate the world, and I was happy when everyone died. But I was wrong, because there was one person worth saving. That's why men like you and me are here. We have a job to do. And God help any motherfuckers who stand in our way. I leave you all of my weapons and equipment. Use them to keep...
Tess.
Dude.
No.
Dude. Dude?
There's a wall of them.
We gotta get one or two, I mean. Is that a gun? Yep. Oh, Ellie.
It's your first time in a car?
It's like a spaceship.
No, it's like a piece of shit Chevy S10, but it'll get us there. I think. Seatbelt.
The strap. Huh?
Seatbelt.
So cool.
Ellie. Oh, no, wait. No, leave it. Leave it. Oh, this is good. This is Linda Ronstadt. Do you know who Linda Ronstadt is?
No, I don't know who the Ronstadt is.
Well,
Oh, man.
hey, man.
It's better than nothing.
Knowing that you want me at the price I have to pay, and life's full of flaws, living in the memory of a love that never was, and I think I'm gonna love you for a long
Wow. Wasn't expecting that at all. Like Frank to get me Bill to get me emotional. Very different. Very different. And I'm not upset about it. Because it's not... One, it doesn't really change the story. And it was well written and very wholesome. That's what I was looking for. Jeez, that took me too long. Yeah, Do not want to admit how long that take. I probably cut a good chunk of time out of that. But anyway, yeah. So wholesome. That was just and you know, liked him a lot more. I mean, he had his reasoning in the game. He had his reasons for being the way he was. And there was a hint, not really a hint, but there was acknowledgement of what. Well, if you didn't find it, because but you find a letter from Frank in the game. He left Bill. It actually ended up taking the battery from the car, and then he ended up hanging himself later. And there was a hint of them being together. There was an insinuation, if you didn't find the letter, insinuation of them being together. But yeah, that I liked that a lot better. I did like the way they also, again, just really quick, like the reason it doesn't really have a huge effect on like this on like the course of the show, like where it'll end and everything, and it doesn't really affect anything else. Is the thing, like it's kind of its own thing, and I was kind of looking forward to see Bill and Joel interact more, and we did get a little bit of them like earlier on in, you know, the whole I was gonna say pandemic, but well, yeah, the pandemic, the whole where the things already been gone through a few years, but it hasn't been like the 10 years that we're right now, 20 years that we are right now. I think it was like 7 years by that point. I think, yeah, I think it was 7 years by the time that came up before the Tess and Frank ended up meeting. But yeah, like other than like interacting, they had to go. Like the battery wasn't in the car; it was taken out. They had to go look for something, or look for the battery. I think. They were going around the town. So there wasn't a whole lot necessarily that were missed, that were losing. And we are kind of showing going through the town, just in, with different people. And it was, a better ending for Bill and Frank, and it was much happier, and there was more closure to it, and like we never see Bill again, so it's just like, what else are we, what would be so wrong with ending his story early, like here, seeing that. And it was, again, very just wholesome and heartwarming seeing him become happy, or be happy. And we had known whenever Frank, when they were playing the piano and Bill was playing, like my initial thought was like, oh, this is where Frank is gonna be wooing Bill, but turns out it was kind of the opposite. Frank was, but like that real, like he was kind of already sort of taking a liking to Bill a bit. But so he was kind of flirting with him. We saw him a little bit when he was saying that I know I don't look like the kind of guy, and he's like, you do, and kind of gave him a look. But then they were playing piano, and then Bill started playing that kind of that really got Frank. And then when he was asking about like who was the girl you're talking about, because you could feel like the want and pain that he was that he put into the song he was singing and playing. But just like the build of their relationship was so sweet and like innocent, in the beginning. Like it wasn't, like it's Bill's first time, and look how great was it that his first time, and he grew old with them. That was what was really breaking me. It's like they were happy, and at first off, I can't. There's so many things I can't stand that I'm weak to. It's like kids, like if there's in a show or a game kids dying, almost immediately I'm breaking down. And old guys, I don't know what it is, but old men specifically, I think, when they start breaking down, it's just like my heart. And I just loved it. Like they had the problems, as every relationship does, but in the end they were happy together. I love the scene where he was like, we're gonna have friends. I was kind of with Bill. I was like, in this day and age, I don't see that. And he's like, I'm already talking to a nice woman on the radio. He's like, it was like that, when your partner just like does like, well, you know what? I've already been doing it, and it's been great. And, that kind of just the way that kind of conversation ended in a way, like the argument was like, this is not even in discussion. I've already done this, and Bill just like, you what? And it just cuts to them eating with Tess and Joel. So I was kind of thinking that's who it might be. Didn't have to wait too long to find out. And it's very interesting, or very, I mean, it's only been 2 episodes before this one, but like it's only 2 episodes, but it's already strange seeing Joel younger, even by just 10 years, or it was 13 years. And it was it was nice to see Tess again, because I mean the actress did a great job, and it was kind of sad that she was only here for a couple episodes, and then she comes back again for a little bit of this. I wonder if they're gonna have any more flashbacks where she's involved, so that she'll have more time on the show. If not, I mean, she did great with where for how long she was on there. But yeah, like there was definitely a difference for both of them. Like maybe I don't think that they had done as much, probably. They didn't seem to have that same, what's the word? Not decisiveness. It's like that hardness in their eyes, in a way. At the very least, Tess. Maybe she's just better at covering it than Joel is. Joel and Bill's interaction was fun, though. I like the little bit that we got to have of them. Just like, him, just Bill being Bill, and just so paranoid and wanting to protect him and his loved one and just keep people away, because he said he hated people. Apparently, he hated the world, and apparently glad that everybody died. And then realized he was wrong, or at least grew to love and protect one person in particular. Man, then we get real quick. I'm gonna jump around a bit. The scene where like they're he's giving him the wine and everything, and he had poured the crushed pills in there. I don't know, like after Frank chugged his, and then we see Bill do it. I wasn't sure. I was like, what? The one thing that stopped me from being like, did he just do the same thing? Like, I don't know if it showed on my face at all, but I was just kind of like, I felt unsure. Like maybe he was just like, this is really hard, which is it was understandable that there's a lot. He knows what he's doing. He's putting his husband out of misery, but it's still a lot that you live with, and then you're losing your loved one after you've spent your whole life with them, or the rest of your life, a good chunk of your life, 20 years of your life. Well, 16, but you know what I mean. And so I was like, yeah, he's just downing it because he needs it. And the other thing that was kind of keeping me from just like this was happening is because again, Bill didn't die. At least that what we had seen, he didn't die in the game. We just kind of left him after we get the car working or whatever, the truck. But yeah, it was if his his partner's going, he's gonna go. He's lived a full life thanks to Frank, and he's happy. And it's just this is a good point for me. This is where I go to. If you're going, I'm going. I'm going to be with you always. And that was just, man. Again, I'm not upset. Well, I'm upset because it was really sad. But I'm not upset that they changed Bill's story a bit. They changed Bill's story. They made him a happier person. They gave him reason to be happy, and they gave him an ending. They concluded his story in a very cathartic way. Is cathartic the right word? There was closure. I said it earlier. There was closure in his life, in his story. It wasn't just like bitter, which I know is kind of could be more real. But again, in the way in the game, they just got to get things moving along in the game, because people aren't going to want to sit and just watch things go about. And then I don't know, they probably weren't like, they're going to wonder about this Bill person, at least when they initially made the game. But yeah, I was also wondering, like, man, he's a lot older than, in the game, by the present time. Like, Bill that we know is more so like the Bill we meet in the very beginning, the 4-year jump. So I was just like, huh. And then when they finally show like present, I was like, dang, he's old. They did a really good job making him look old. He looked much older than he looks actually. He actually looks, and making Frank look old and sick. Man, I wasn't expecting that turn, honestly. His first, when the Raiders attacked the fence, good thing he took Joel's advice and like made a car wall, because that definitely helped. And man, Bill's traps are intense. Freaking flamethrowers along the wall. I wasn't sure what those were. I guess I should have realized. My God. Electric fence, flamethrowers, perimeter, some explosives, because yes, it's Bill. And he was also out there gunning them down. So there was a lot. I don't know why he didn't shoot from the window. Maybe he didn't want them to know what house he was from, so they didn't focus. But I felt like that maybe he would have had a better protection when he got shot. Maybe he just wanted a better view. I don't know. Maybe he wanted them to know that I'm here. You're not. I don't know. Maybe being out there is more of an intimidation factor. I'm not sure, but he didn't die from that, so that's good. It literally went through, so all the way through. Because they shot him from behind, and it was outside of his torso, the front of his torso. So, assumedly, it went through all the way. Man, the fact that they cut when they were when he was old, and they were kind of going through him, like wheeling him around the town to take him there so they can get married, and to the I forgot what it was called, the Gold whatever the place that he liked a lot. Sorry. Then they kind of show the pit that Frank had fallen in when they first met. I'm just like, wow, okay. I don't know how that got me, but it kind of got me. It's like you showed me a dirt hole in the ground, and I'm feeling emotional about it. Cool. Ugh, god dang, bro. I can't believe the freaking stuff we had with Joel and Ellie in the beginning was the same episode. I'm gonna go into that really quick. One, I kind of like that they went into how the whole infection thing started. It wasn't necessarily it didn't necessarily start from biting. It was just in the grain. It was in different foods, ingredients that the cordyceps had evolved and kind of went into them. I'm assuming they mixed in the grain probably and all that, and people would eat them. And it wasn't an immediate thing. It was over time. Then you would start getting sick. If you ate enough of them, you would start getting the effects of it. Which makes sense. You need enough of them to work to really start to show symptoms of the infection of something inside your body. That's Jesus. That's so terrifying. Then again, the stuff needed time to grow, so there's that. But it was. Also, we kind of got a little bit of, with Ellie, I don't know if it was her first, because there was still, the infected that they had to, when she was cornered a while back and bitten, the stuff we haven't seen, it was more just, how she got bitten in the first place. Assuming she had killed her and Riley killed the zombies, or they just maybe had gotten away, so maybe they didn't kill them, but it at the very least, assumedly could have been Ellie's first kill of an infected. But you can see the anger and the hatred. Now that could have been from Tess. It could have also been for Riley, who's someone she dearly cared about. So we kind of see a little bit of that in Ellie. There wasn't really hesitation. It was kind of scary isn't the right word. I can't think, but there was a what's the word? And she was examining it and I can't think of the stupid word, but she cut open the head to kind of just see what was inside and see, I guess, Like, she was, I don't know, it was just making sure that it wasn't, like, kind of almost, in a way, making it okay for her to kill this infected, that this is not someone who's alive anymore. That might have been what she was doing. And then she just, like, straight up she just impaled, she just stabbed it in the head. But yeah, like, I don't know. There was just seemingly no hesitation in that. And then, and Joel doesn't even know about it. He doesn't know that she found a hatch, which I feel like maybe she could have at least mentioned that. But I guess that was like a dead end. That poor guy. I wonder how long he'd been there. Would that happen like the day that everything went bad, or was that just like when he was hiding there at one point and then it just collapsed because over years the thing has become unstable? I couldn't really quite make out like the look of his clothes, but it didn't look great. But like, I like that we're getting like her, like, one, like a feel of just like she's been alive, like, or she wasn't alive during the time before the infection started. So like she, like, a lot of this stuff is completely alien to her, like, or just like not alien, but just like the things that we see as mundane or just or normal at the very least. They're like a spectacle to her, like the Mortal Kombat arcade system, like, and I love there's like bits of that from the game, but just like really thinking about it and just like how like this is like the most exciting thing, or just out of this world for her, that she's only really read about this kind of thing like that, and then being in the car, like a car for the first time, she's like pressing all the buttons, and Joel's just like, first time in a car, it's like a spaceship. It's just like, wow, that's insane to even think about it. And he's like, seatbelt, put your seatbelt on. She's like, huh? What you mean? What do you mean? So we actually do it for her. She's like, whoa, this is insane. It's just, it's strange and kind of scary to think about like that. That's so foreign to her. Things like that. But yeah, it's just fun to see moments from like kind of like her elements of her personality from the game, and again just kind of how strange it is in reality. When they were like flashing back, when they first like showed the clothes of like this on the skeletons, and Joel was, the people that Joel was stating, like, they try to keep people in QZs if they're a room, and if they weren't, they would kill them because these people, if they're dead, they can't be infected. Which is brutal to think about. I mean, I understand the caution, but Jesus. Because I mean, like, yeah, you can't, you put them out there because you don't have enough room, but then they'll get infected, and then they'll come, they'll maybe not directly come back, but they'll be around, and they could be around to get other people infected, other people nearby, and then that would spread. So, like, I understand that, but that's really hard to think about. But when they were showing that, and they were kind of zooming in on it, I was like, oh, I don't want to see this. And then they, transition to the past, and then we see this lady holding a child. It's like, oh, I don't want to see them be killed. This is not something I want to see at all. Please don't. But it was more so just like the jumping point to see the beginning of it all. And it was, it's so funny thinking about like the people, the preppers, them having their moment to really shine, or to at the very least, like, they've been preparing their whole lives for this moment. It's like, I'm golden. And especially someone like Bill, who just doesn't like people. The fact that the military was evacuating the whole neighborhood. He had the whole thing to himself. He had he had a freaking buffet of just anything. All kinds of equipment, all kinds of food and supplies and all that. Just go about and grab gas and anything he needs. It's just, and he already had stuff set up, and then once everybody's evacuated, he could just set up his own traps, set up fencing. He had already had cameras set up, and I like he had the way his bunker was. It was just really cool. Like, first, obviously, he had underneath the house, he had a basement, but the door, the trap door, breaking part. What was it, like a chest, I think, and it came up, had a ladder underneath it. That was really cool. He was waiting for the military. He's like, no, don't you? You're not getting me. And yeah, then he just had a field day effectively, just taking whatever he needed. So yeah, I'm glad we did that. We saw him with that instead of the child having to be killed. Man, I gotta say, I'm with Frank on the food that Bill prepared. Like, even though I couldn't taste it, that stuff looked amazing. Even if you hadn't had, like, even if it hasn't been 4 years for me, or however long that they've had a good, like, seasoned prepped meal, that looked freaking amazing. It looked fantastic. I would very much like some. Just right now, I'm actually feeling really hungry. So yeah, I mean, I understand why Frank fell for Bill, among other reasons, but food was definitely a starter. You kind of see Bill, one, not really being kind of awkward around people, but just also around Frank. He seemed unsure of how to handle the situation. I mean, it had been also 4 years since he'd been around people, but like the shower thing. Whenever he was in the shower first, and he was trying to like leave him some clothes, he was like, "Do I let it? Hey, I got your clothes." And I was a little suspicious at first because again, in the game, Frank ends up kind of ditching Bill and kind of sort of backstabbing him. So when he was like in the shower for a while, and he was like, "Can I have 5 more minutes?" And he was like, I was kind of like, "Why? What are you planning?" And I was like, "Well, I guess it's probably been a while since you've had a hot shower." He was like, "Thanks, this is amazing." I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's probably it." So I was getting suspicious of Bill as well, but Frank, sorry, not Bill. But you could really see he was kind of starting to I guess, I don't know, first person he actually connected with, like, at least in a while. Because again, he mentioned he didn't really like the world, and possibly, and a lot of people probably. I don't know, excuse me, have you had any friends before? But yeah, he pretty quickly actually got a connection with Frank. And considering Bill had a gun pointed at Frank, pretty quickly grew attachment to him as well. But yeah, I know I already said this, but their relationship was just so sweet, and I liked the build of it, and the realism that was included as well. What was heartwarming, kind of heartbreaking, and I was worried about. I was wondering if they were going to kill Bill. Earlier on, when he was shot, he was talking to Frank about saying, "I have a list for you," and Frank was trying to keep him talking. He was like, "Yeah, of course. Tell me about the list." Telling him that there's a list. Called Joel. He had made a list for Frank to know how everything worked and so that he could prep everything himself because he thought he was going to die. He wanted Frank to be safe. He wanted him to be prepared. Call Joel. You can't be alone, or I don't want you to be left alone. So that the fact that he had prepared that list and he prepared things so that if he were to go, Frank would be fine. And also the other thing that just kind of got me was saying before Frank showed up, he wasn't scared of dying. Now he is, and it's just like, why you gotta keep doing this? Ugh, man. He was getting ready to lay him down on the bush of strawberries. He's like, hold on, we just got these. Traded his gun, one of Bill's guns, for a packet of seeds of strawberry seeds. And for a second, I was worried that Bill was about to freak out. He was like, "Which gun?" But yeah, it was totally fine. And it was just so sweet, and his reaction to having strawberries for I don't know how long, because I don't know what they've been eating. Again, what all he had prepared, what all he still has a stock of, what all he grows on his own. Apparently, don't have strawberries to grow, but it is apparently he seemingly still has some food. So it's just strawberries, I guess, aren't something that they have stock of. Just not having strawberries for so long, and then just that reaction to it. It was just kind of so sweet, and I don't know. But yeah, so the letter to Joel. Another kind of thing with from the game that Frank left a letter for Bill. That was more so like, I hated you in the end. And this, I like, again, I do prefer this, honestly. Because it was just kind of hard imagining someone having to go through that. That Bill having finally trusted somebody, and then they stabbed him in the back. But, yeah, anyway, so the letter was now from Bill to Joel and explaining everything. You know, that they don't go in our bedroom. It's not good. We left the window open so that the house wouldn't smell. Left them all of this stuff. And the part where, you know, use this to protect Tess. Something. Let me look real quick. Because I know he was saying, you know, you guys are a good pairing, but just like I kind of want to see the whole of what he had said. Dang it. I blurred. I know that if they did it for a reason, they focused on that, you know, kind of emphasized Tess, keep Tess safe, or pairing. You've. I want to see what the rest says though. She decide you've something and she. Oh, man, I hate to do that. I want to see the rest of the letter. Anyway, but yeah, that was, man. But speaking of that, I did like, at least in the very beginning, that Ellie was like kind of like stood up for herself. I was gonna say that this was y'all's decision. You know, you guys wanted the battery. You didn't have to take me. You did. So don't blame me for this. Don't blame me for Tess. I mean, even though she probably does feel bad about Tess, but she's not like, don't put your anger on me for this. Which is, I feel like, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Mature to go about it and say it in that manner. Just because I feel like someone would blame themselves for that person being killed. Because I think it's Julie. Ellie, I believe, did kind of in the game blame herself for a bit. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure. I think she did. But yeah, I did kind of like that, kind of showing a bit of more of bit of a maturity in that regard. Ellie's still a kid though. She does still have her kid. Obviously, she's only 14, so she's still gonna have, you know, irrational kid tendencies. So, but I like that moment. Yeah. Another fantastic episode. It's a long one, which is great because I like having more to watch. But editing that down is a real pain in the butt. Having to have so much that I gotta cut out, which sucks because there's a lot I want to keep in. But yeah, so next episode we've gone over we left the town. You know, we didn't have to do too much looking around. We have a bunch of stuff now. Well, I don't know a bunch. I don't know how much stuff Joel grabbed, because once you can carry the stuff in the truck, but once that's done, you got to carry it with you. They're not gonna be able to take the truck all the way. So they're going to Joel's gonna go find Tommy. Try to get, since he used to be with the Fireflies, he could help. Hopefully, he's hoping that Tommy can help him get Ellie wherever she needs to go. So I don't know if we're gonna find Tommy next episode. I doubt it. I'm trying to go think of the order of things, but they do things slightly different. So I don't know what all is gonna be changed on the way there, and how we're gonna condense things. But I am excited to see however they're gonna go about it, and who we're running into, or what we're doing next. So that's it for this week's episode of The Last of Us, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to stick around for the next one, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Hopefully, I'll be caught up with putting these out after this. I should have more time this week. So yeah, stick around.